Hey everyone! Today I'm going to talk about a topic that was requested by several of you, which is style tips for weak chins. I have a few videos talking about prominent lower thirds or prominent chins, and there were a lot of you that asked, well, what if I have the opposite features? So what if I have a weak chin, then what do I do with that? So today I'm going to talk about some style tips that can help you bring more prominence to your chin if you're concerned about the lack of definition in the area. Okay, so a weak chin is also referred to as a receding or a recessed chin, and just like the name suggests, it's the result of your chin. Instead of projecting forward, it projects backwards slightly towards the neck. Now, from the frontal view, what happens when the chin recedes is that it visually alters the length of your lower third and makes it appear a little bit shorter. So your overall facial length also appears a little shorter as well, because this blank space from underneath your eyes downwards appears to be shortened when the chin is recessed compared to someone with a very pronounced chin. Another visual effect is that because the chin recedes, it also appears a little bit flatter from the frontal view. So overall, your lower facial outline tends to have a more horizontal curve rather than a very sharp V shape. And while a shorter lower third contributes to a shorter looking face overall and adds more of a youthful image to the look, on the other side, the lack of definition in the chin area also leads to a lack of definition between the face and the neck. So the outline that divides the face and neck can appear more blurred, or the length of the face and the length of the neck can appear somewhat disproportionate to each other if you already have a long neck. And in my previous videos, I've mostly focused on talking about how to make the lower third appear shorter or less heavy or less prominent. But in this case, when the chin is weak or recessed, we actually want to achieve the opposite effect of adding more prominence and weight to the lower third in order to bring more balance to the face. Now, if you've been watching my videos, you probably already know where I'm going with this. I always talk about the contrast level between the hair and the skin around your lower facial outline, and how the higher the contrast, the more definition and heaviness is added to the lower third of the face. So opposite to someone who wants to take the prominence away from their lower face by removing the surrounding hair, if your goal is to add more prominence, you want to keep the surrounding hair in order to maintain a higher level of contrast that the hair can create against the skin. So rather than a short haircut like a pixie cut or an updo, bringing your hair down can be more beneficial in adding definition to the lower face and the chin area. Even with an updo, a half updo that leaves some of the hair down around the lower face is a better choice if you're trying to bring more prominence to your lower third and make it appear longer. And the same theory applies for dark versus light hair. A lighter hair color that reduces the contrast level between the hair and the skin will also reduce the prominence of any features in the lower third, including the chin. So if your main goal is to make the chin appear more defined, then you might want to stick to darker colors that can increase the contrast level. Now, some of you might be asking, well, then what about Ivanka Trump, who always keeps her hair blonde? Shouldn't she be wearing a darker hair color to bring more definition to her chin? And I think that it really depends on many other factors as well, such as your color season or simply your personal preferences. I don't know what Ivanka's color season is, but blonde hair seems to suit her quite well, or maybe she just has a preference towards blonde hair. I mean, it's very probable that she's gotten a chin implant, so maybe she doesn't feel the need to bring more prominence or weight to her lower third. Or maybe she doesn't want to bring more emphasis to her jawline or cheeks. Who knows? There could be many other reasons as to why she keeps her hair blonde. The point that I'm trying to drive here is that darker hair does bring more definition to the lower facial outline, but regardless of the effects, if you have a preference towards a lighter hair color for whatever reason, then there's nothing stopping you from keeping your hair light. So just because there are certain visual effects, that's not to say that the theory that I'm explaining is a strict rule that you must follow. My point is that you can take these pieces of knowledge and information that I'm sharing with you as a guide, but however you choose to use this information is really up to you. Alright, so would there be then any styles that you might want to avoid if you have a weak or a receding chin? Again, there isn't a style that you must avoid. Like I said, do whatever makes you feel good at the end of the day. But to explain some visual effects that certain styles can have on your lower facial outline, a blunt bob at around your chin level is a style that can highlight the shape of your chin more. Like I mentioned earlier, when the chin recedes, it can appear a little bit flatter from the frontal view, which makes the lower facial outline more horizontally straight than a V shape. And a chin level blunt bob, which cuts the hair in a uniform length, extends that horizontal line created by your chin and the jawline, so it has a tendency to highlight the shape of your lower facial outline. Especially if you already have a short face, a short bob has a shortening effect on the face because our gaze tends to stop at where the hair ends. This is exactly why long hair has the opposite effect of dragging our gaze down and making the face appear longer. So if you already have a short face, then a chin level bob will have a further shortening effect on the face. And a blunt style like this adds even more width to the face, so if you want to prevent the emphasis from being drawn in a horizontal direction, wearing your hair at least around your shoulder level will mitigate the effects of highlighting the shape of your chin or adding further width to the face. With Ivanka and Drea, they both happen to have long necks, which get emphasized more by the lack of definition and the short length of their chins. And with a short bob that adds width to the face but doesn't cover the neck area, if you have a receding chin as well as a long neck, not only does the hair highlight the short length of the chin more, but it also creates a sense of separation between the head and the neck. I don't have great examples of Ivanka or Drea with a very short bob, but if Maya Rudolph were to have a longer neck like in the right image, we can kind of see that sense of separation that I'm trying to explain. So if you have a recessed chin or a long neck, or both, and you don't want to highlight those features more, creating a higher level of contrast from below the ears all the way down to your shoulders would be helpful in adding more weight to this whole area. Another way other than using your hair and creating a higher level of contrast is wearing a turtleneck. A turtleneck sweater can bring added definition between the face and the neck, and it also adds width to the neck, so it's a great choice for both a less defined chin and a very long neck. And I'm going to talk more about different necklines in relation to the shape of your lower face and your upper body in next week's video. So if you're interested to learn more and you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to hit those like, subscribe, and notification buttons before you go. I hope you found this video helpful, and I'll see you in my next video. Until then, stay unique and stay gorgeous.